Hello everyone, I'm Victoria and today I'm going to be doing a book haul. So these are all the books that I bought in March and April. I think it's something like 14 books. Guys, I think I have a problem. Does anybody out there stress buy books? Because that's what I feel like I've been doing, is stress buying books. I don't know. Anyway, let's get started. So the first one we have is Dear Ijewele, or A Feminist Manifesto in 15 Suggestions by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Sorry if I mispronounced anything. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Anywho, this is about a letter that Chimamanda wrote to her friend when her friend had a baby girl and said, please give me some tips on how to raise my daughter as a feminist. And this is the result after some editing done. It was published. This is an amazing book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it's an important work. I think everybody should read it. It is really short. It's only like a little over 60 pages. It'll take you like an hour, not even, to read it, but I think it's super duper important. I just kept nodding my head. Everything that she said in here, it made perfect sense to me, and I really hope that everybody does read this because it is an important work. Moving on, the next book we have is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. So this is basically a retelling of Aladdin. And I actually read this and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I think that this is a YA that avoids the traps and tropes of many of the YA out there, so I would highly recommend this. The genie in this is actually a female character, so that's kind of the twist, the spin on this, and it makes for some interesting situations. There is a little bit of a romance, but she's kind of amazing, and I can't recommend this enough, so definitely check it out if you have a chance. Moving on, boom, we have The Mark of the Dragonfly by J. Johnson. So this is a middle grade book, and it's kind of a steampunk-esque book. You have this train that these kids want to try and get onto to return a missing person to her original homeland. And I just have to say, this sounds amazing, and the cover on this is so beautiful. I don't know if you can tell exactly, but it kind of has this opalescent sheen, and it's just so pretty. And then the inside, look at the beautiful on the actual thing. It's so lovely. I think it's so pretty. Even if it's a terrible book, it's a beautiful book. So there you go. Next up, boom, we have The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I actually did a review of this, so I'll link that up above if you want to check that out. I also really enjoyed this. I read it and gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, I do think that this one avoids some of the YA tropes that we see a lot. A lot of fun. This is kind of dark and gritty, so if you don't like people dying, if you don't like people killing other people, then maybe avoid this. But if that sounds like awesome times, you might be a psychopath, but also you might enjoy this book, so that's good. Moving on to the next one, we have Magic Binds by Lona Andrews. Now I don't want to get into too much of this because it's the latest in the Kate Daniels series, which is an urban fantasy that takes place in Atlanta, Georgia. I feel like this might be the 9th. Would they be so kind as to put a number on the side? No, they don't. So I'm guessing it's probably the 9th, I don't know, but this has been a wonderful series. I haven't read this one and the one before it, but I do have that one, and I'm looking forward to catching up with Kate Daniels and see what she's up to, all her mercenary goodness and magic fighting skills. The next book that we have is Crooked Kingdom. So this is the second book in the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo, and I already read this one as well, and it was really great. I love this one. I enjoyed the first one. I gave that one 4 out of 5. I had some disappointments with it and everything, but this one was really wonderful and made up for everything that I thought was lacking in the first one. So this one I gave 5 out of 5. Highly recommend it. I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's all over BookTube. I am sure you have heard what this is about. So go check out those people's videos because I'm sure they work very hard on them. Next up, we have 4 books. So this is The Immortals Quartet by Tamara Pierce, and I would consider these kind of YA, at least the first 3, and then the last one perhaps a little bit more of a YA kind of thing. These take place in Tortal, which is a magical land where the Alana series takes place, the Lioness Rampant. Some of you might have heard of that. I actually had read that previously, super enjoyed it, so I decided to go out and just get all of these and one fell swoop, and I'm so happy I did because I really like this. I think I liked it even more. It's about a young girl named Dane who finds out that she has magical abilities, but they're not the typical magic abilities that everyone else has. She has something called wild magic, which means that she can talk to animals. And it's fantastic. I love that she can talk to animals. It's so cute and wonderful and fun. And you get to see her grow up and progress in her magic and discover exactly what she can do with her magic. It's phenomenal. The last one even has a little bit of romance in it. So I highly recommend these. These are more of your traditional kind of young adult or middle grade books, and I just absolutely love them. Highly recommend them. The next I have up is The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making by Catherine M. Valente. So this is exactly what it sounds like. I haven't read it yet, but from the synopsis on the back, it seems like September, a young girl, is allowed access to Fairyland, and then adventures ensue, as normally happens in Fairyland. I actually did read the first 2 pages of this, and guys, I think that this is going to be awesome, right up my alley. It sounds very quirky, very whimsical, so I'm looking forward to this. I will say this is supposed to be middle grade, but having read just the first 2 pages, the vocabulary that Catherine M. Valente uses is far beyond that of your average young reader. So I think that maybe this was better for maybe a precocious child or someone like me, an adult that's never grown up. But in the good ways, in the good ways. So I'm looking forward to this and I can't wait. Moving on to our next book, we have The Venetian Bargain by Marina Fiorato. So this book takes place in 1574. No, I lied, it's 1576. And we follow a young woman named Feyre who is escaping from the Ottoman Empire, and she actually is a doctor. And she comes to Venice along with the Black Death, so you know it's gonna be a happy book. No, this is a historical fiction, and it seems like it's going to be following multiple viewpoints. So in addition to Feyre, we also have Annibale, who is another doctor, a male doctor, and then we also have Andrea Palladio, who is an architect who has been commissioned to create a cathedral, trying to kind of placate God because of the plague and its ravages that it is creating on Venice. So I'm excited to try this. It's been a while since I've read a historical fiction novel, and I'm excited to kind of get back into that world. And finally, moving on to our last 3 books, we have the trilogy, the Wonderla Trilogy by Toni Ditalizzi. Yes, I know, I have the first 2 in paperback and the last one in hardback. My heart weeps at the sight. No, but this sounds like a really fun series. I don't know too much about it, but I know that it's about a girl, I'm gonna put them down, named Eve 9, and her adventures. It looks like she's fleeing from the land that she knew, and all kinds of action and adventure ensues. These just seem so adorable. They also have illustrations by the author himself in it, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this. Example of that, and some other things. But this looks like this is just going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to get to it. So all in all, we had 14 books for April and March. I can't wait to see what I buy next, because you know I'm going to buy more books. It's just going to happen. Let me know, what is the favorite book that you got in your latest book haul? Was there one that you're just so happy that you bought? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day.